Hey, what's up, folks? Chapping in again for another gym chat. Was listening to some CGA. Shout out Coach Greg Adams. And just wanted to talk about. So there's a lot going on between Passport Bros, and that kind of movement. But when I'm thinking about that, listening to him talk, all I can really think about is Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal has been. The dude's hilarious, and I appreciate his outlook on relationships probably more than anybody else. Again, I listen to CGA, I listen to Patrice, like I said. I checked out Andrew Tate, Casey Zander. I've listened to Rolo, Sterling Cooper. All of them have good things to pull from, Based on your experience, what you can incorporate, might help you maneuver and navigate things. But Patrice, his outlook to me has been consistently the most beneficial and inspiring. Because how he views them is, you gotta be willing to let some stuff go, man. And he's been burned enough to understand shit is weird, for lack of a better term, but in regards to Passport Bros, he was kind of one of the original ones. He would say he would take his trips to Brazil to try and find something that he was missing or was not able to acquire here in the States, until one day it dawned on him. It wasn't his location that he really needed to change. It was his attitude and outlook towards where he was that would help change and sculpt his world around him. There's a saying that wherever you go, you'll still be there. Meaning that if you're not changing inside of yourself, it doesn't matter where you move the goalpost, the points aren't gonna come if you're not able to make the effort to really make those gains in and of yourself. Again, having been in long-term relationships throughout my life, I've had 3 of them. They all ended up, burning out in a fiery blaze of glory. But I'm still cool with the individuals that I was with, Relationships are difficult, man, and it's probably more so accurate, I'll be honest with you, that women haven't really changed that much. It's like what they say about money. It doesn't change you, it just amplifies who you are. A lot of these women are getting money right now, and they're amplifying who they are as people, But in regards to men and masculinity, there's probably been a lot of changes there. Some warranted, some not so much. And it's not until really you take that responsibility to really shape and craft who you're gonna be outside of a relationship that you'll understand more about how to maintain yourself in them. But even then, still, when you're in it, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, my man. You can't control other people. You can only love them to the best of your capabilities. The person that you have the most control over is yourself. And it's how you're going to exercise that on a regular and consistent basis, despite what's going on around you. In a relationship, especially with kids and things, there's so many variables that are going to get introduced, and you're not going to be batting 1,000, bro. Nobody does that. You're not going to be perfect. And there might be unfair expectations levied against you. It is what it is, player. But the thing is that you have to be willing to kind of sacrifice some things. Again, coming from divorce, separation, being through custody agreements with children, I have that experience. I don't have the most horrible experience with women. Though, I guess they're unique to me. And I still care and appreciate all the folks that I've been with. because I know what we went through and been through, and the two sides of everything. It's kind of how I appreciate why I was raised. It's both of us. You know what I'm saying? Chances are there was both things that we both could have done differently that would have got us different results. But again, nobody's batting 1,000, So like it is what it is. And then, I've been not all over this country, but I've traveled the Midwest a lot. Like I said, and when I was coming up, I was a street kid, So my lens of looking at the world has been very skewed because I've seen what people are capable of doing, just human beings. It doesn't matter man or woman. The things that people are capable of doing and will do when either put in the corner or, depleted from resources in need, it might blow your mind. It might be way outside of your moral compass that you're not really prepared for. It is what it is though, man. This world is unique in and of itself. It's not perfect, but it's probably doper than a lot of people give it credit for. To be born in a place where you get to voice your disagreements openly and honestly, that's a blessing in and of itself. Like, you don't understand how lucky you are. People in a lot of other countries don't have those particular freedoms. They have to disagree in silence and privacy. They can't be at the forefront yelling, I don't like this, I'm not gonna do this, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the benefits that there are to being, let alone born 10 fingers, 10 toes. You know what I'm saying? You're born in a country with freedom where you get to respectfully and disrespectfully disagree. You're in a place where you can change your stars. So many rags to riches stories, as long as you're willing to put in the effort, learn a little bit about how finances work, and change the trajectory of your life. You can alter how your body looks. You can alter how your mind works for you. You can alter your financial status. Hell, you can change your gender. You know what I'm saying? Like, the level of freedoms that we have here are insane. And like, as African American born in this country, I've experienced racism, but honestly, that's not even where the buck stops for me. Because I've dealt with people that could be considered racist, and I've worked with people that don't think they're racist, and like, those are kind of the more dangerous ones because they think that they're something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind prejudice. It is what it is, player. What I can't do is let that stop me. What I can't do is let that victimize me to where I halt every kind of forward progress and opportunity that I do have to focus on this one thing that I'm probably not going to be around for too long anyway. You know what I'm saying? Why would I let that stop my forward momentum? You tell me. I'm not going to do it. Matter of fact, I've accepted it. There is, like I said in a previous video, life is a double-edged sword. There's shit that you don't want to deal with that's going to be in this particular life. There's nothing you can do about it, man. You can't change it. All you can do is change your approach towards how you're going to allow these things to impact you. So again, circling back to the relationship stuff and Patrice O'Neal. So it's like, based on leadership, what you're doing to lead your life. I want to talk about human resourcing. It was always weird to me that people wouldn't do human resourcing of their life or accountability for who they allow in their world until something catastrophic happens. They wouldn't think about who they're letting in their particular social circle and why until they did something, they stole, they blah, 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 they this and that. And like I said, again, in previous videos, I had to work my way into social circles. I was in a different high school in a different state for every year of high school, man. Like, who you are outside of that social circle is gonna account for a lot for the rest of your life. Because if you can't step outside of that safety net and perform, you're kind of SOL, my guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're transitioning into reality again from the kiddie stuff where, Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and blah, 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 like if you didn't realize that, like, this world is harsh, dog. You got to pay taxes. You got to keep bills in order. You got to have a budget. You got to learn to ball on a budget. You got to learn to have fun while you're broke. You know what I'm saying? So those were things that I was ready to take on because I wanted to be on a path for my own life. I wanted to have responsibilities and take care of those responsibilities. I wanted to have safety and security and be responsible for it. So again, like, who you're human resourcing, who you're allowing into your life and why is a major deal, And again, like we're brought up in all these safety nets, between the social circle and all these other social constructs that, like, out in reality, nobody cares. You're gonna be probably the only person that cares about you the most. I was saying this in another video as well, talking about how if you're a business and a boss in a business and you're not willing to pick up the slack for the other employees, what are you doing? If for anybody running around screaming at their boss, but they're not happy doing that little bit of extra, you shouldn't be in that leadership position. 100%. It's your baby. Nobody's gonna care about your babies more than you are. 100%. That's in business, that's in life. And again, these two things cross paths more often than not. Business and life cross paths more than you would think. It's just, I guess maybe you have to treat one differently, but not really. I've kind of looked more and more, they've come to be the same, business and life, personal relationships and professional relationships. You want to treat them with care, but at the same time, like, you got to be taking care of your business first. You got to make sure that your business is a priority. You got to make sure that whatever path that you on won't be swayed by anything that's coming from an outside angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you a lenience. Maybe let it sway you, but definitely don't let it knock you off the tracks. This train is on the tracks, and it's moving full bore ahead, whether even I want it to or not, Because I have that desire. I have that desire to produce and perform of myself and to be good for those around me. I got 2 young ones that I'm responsible for. Love them to death. I get to hang out with them on a regular and consistent basis. I appreciate the mothers that help me bless these children into the world. I have mostly a solid core of people around me. Some of your parents, again, they might not be the best people for you, but they did the best that they were capable of. You know what I'm saying? Again, nobody's perfect. Nobody's batting 1,000. But you gotta let that shit go. You can't hold on to it and let it poison you. I've been seeing some stuff going in group chat and some of my family group chats, and it's like, damn. But at the same time, I've been there. I've been that person being volatile in a group chat, But you gotta grow. You gotta develop. You have to seek information that'll allow you to heal certain parts of you. Again, unlearn things that you have been born and that have been staple safety nets. You might need to unlearn that so you can grow outside of that safety net and start to build a new parachute for yourself. You're in control of a lot more than you think that you are in this world, but you have to take on the responsibility that comes with that control. If you're not willing to, again, step in something like this, to step into a gym, to solidify who you're going to be in body, how are you going to take the journeys into your mind to solidify who you're going to be in your mindset? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to step into business in the financial world to solidify who you want to be in a business? Let's talk engine and Jurassic Park. There's this concept that I had for a long time where, money's not necessarily what you think it is. And then honestly, once you have enough of it or too much, it'll start to take on a life of its own that you might not be prepared for. Because the people that have interest in your money now have become more vested in you than you are in them. Their hostile takeovers in business is weird, man. But like, again, if you're not of that mindset, you'll never see some of these things coming. You know, let's look at Andrew Tate. People always want to, emulate trying to be the top G, but you're not even being the best version of yourself. And then again, look at some of the problems that, shout out to Tate, he just got out today too. You're not even ready for some of the problems that this man is dealing with on a regular and consistent basis. Again, spoke about this in a previous video. Whether you're dealing with $100 problems or $100,000 problems, it's how your mind is going to approach these issues and seek a resolution. Are you going to dig in and try and resolve it, or are you going to throw your hands up and just be done? You're not going to keep all that money if you're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, again, who you are, who you want to be, the relationships that you want to be, you're going to have to not deal with some people. Shout out to CGA to put it in perspective that some of the people that reject you in your life, they might be doing you a favor, homie. You might think it looks, everything that glitter ain't gold is what they say, right? So you might think that it looks nice and it might be an asset in your world, but if it was meant to be, they would have took the opportunity. They would have recognized some value in you and tried to reciprocate that. That's one of my biggest philosophies as well, is reciprocal. What's the word? Hold on, it's gonna come to me. Reciprocal energy when you're a harmonious environment. Sorry about that. But yeah, harmonious relationships to where any resource that I'm drawing from, I want to pour into so that I can continue to draw from this resource. And this resource can benefit from me. Harmonious relationships have been established throughout nature. They work the best, and it keeps everything alive and afloat. Some people don't give as much as they take, though. Some people aren't set up to be givers. Some people are just takers. Some people aren't takers. Some people are just givers. That's where imbalances come into play and things get taken advantage of. No matter what kind of relationship you're seeking, you have to be solidified again in the relationship that you want with yourself. And again, when you're traveling down that path of relationships, dude, there's a lot of things that are going to come into play that are going to change things. You could be faced with financial hardships. Again, children change a lot of things. If you're not built to adapt with those ebb and flows, something's going to break occasionally anyway. But again, to circle back, the thing that I liked about Patrice O'Neal is that if you're solidified with who you are, whether that thing ebbs and flows or breaks and walks away, you don't make a permanent decision around your situation that will eliminate any kind of growth and development moving forward. You know what I'm saying? That is the thing. Having children, I do believe two-parent household is the best, but everybody isn't made to live under the same roof. And then even that, some of the relationships that you're supposed to have regarding that, we haven't even been taught how they're really supposed to develop. I like Coach Greg Adams for his mindset on how live-in relationships should go, because you probably shouldn't be spending too much time with each other, especially in this time where things are easily accessible. It leads to taking for granted. When I was going through all of my relationships, I knew that there is a kind of shelf life on certain things. You're going to start to take things for granted because you're spending enough time around it. The perceived value of it is going to alter over time. That doesn't mean that it might not hold the same weight that it did at the start, but you're probably not going to pay the same level of attention to detail that you did initiated. Again, you might have bigger fish to fry, and whatever this priority that we had before we had children isn't necessarily at the same level of priority that we had after we had kids, because my mind is focused on solidifying the future for that. And then, the other side of that is communication, getting direct communication from people. That's also going to be difficult. You can't read minds, But if you're in that leadership position, If you're in that role and truly taking on that lead, like, one thing that you're gonna know, and again, this is in business and personal life. Again, and just to say it again, people, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, man. People are individuals that have their own minds to make up. They have their own decisions to make. Sometimes people don't do the best on that. And that's okay. Shit happens, yo. You know, you can definitely get caught up in a moment and make a decision that's gonna alter your life. Again, I'm a kid from the streets. I've seen people do terrible things. You know? But, you know, you try not to hold judgment on them so bad. I try to understand more so than anything. Again, from being where my background is, I try to understand. But at the same time, like, you can't allow outside influences to drag you down. I learned this from Jordan Peterson. You know, if you're going to swim out into a body of water to save somebody, if they're refusing to listen to you, are you gonna drown? Are you gonna swim all the way out there just to drown, to try and save somebody who won't put in the effort to just listen so that they can save themselves? And for that person that's out there drowning, are you gonna turn down 2 boats in a helicopter so that you can prove a point? Again, there's decisions to be made. And this is again circling back. I'm proud to be an American, goddamn. Because you get to make those decisions to do dumb shit. You get to make those decisions to alter your life in various ways that can be positive, negative, or otherwise. You get to do that. And if you're not grateful, thankful, and appreciative of that, man, like, bless your heart, I got nothing for you. You're a victim of your own success, which is a thing that most people are these days. Nobody wants to take responsibility for their own decisions, player. Definitely victims of a lot of people running around that are victims of their own success. And that's okay. Welcome to America. You got lucky that you were born here in this lovely place where you could disagree with any and everybody, even yourself. And then try and force people to agree with some shit that you don't agree with. It blows my mind. But whatever, live your life, man. I'm out here trying to be the best me that I can be on a regular and consistent basis. I am happy to interact with anybody that is at least being respectful. What you do in your free time is of zero of my concern. You can go be as racist as you want to. Better be respectful in front of me. If not, guess what I get to do? I get to walk over there. I've been in customer service for the majority of my life. I've been catching flack and attitude from people that don't even got no smoke from me. I understand. I get it. And it's okay. It's quite all right, because I can separate that emotional barrier and be like, that shit ain't even got my name on it, you know? And then at the same time, when somebody's bringing some unnecessary bullshit my way, I can provide them with all kinds of smoke that's not even meant for them. I told my daughter this the other day, because some kids at her school were, you know, being kind of disrespectful. And I was like, look, boo, the next time anybody does that, you get to introduce animosity that don't even have these people's name on it. You get to take out all of that. Because if they're going to choose to do that with you, you know what? You get to defend yourself. And you get to go to a new safe place that you didn't even know that you had before. Because nobody has the right to touch you, no matter what. I don't care what it is. And we can talk nice in front of the principal. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Dad's going to bring you home, hug you, and make sure that you're okay. Because you have a right to defend yourself. You know, so, again, I just wanted to discuss those few concepts. Again, shout out to CGA. Keep doing your thing, bro. Rest in peace to Patrice O'Neal. I like how he allowed space for disagreement inside of whatever kind of connection was being built, you know. But the thing that he was solidified on was who he wanted to be and the person that he wanted to be for you, and gives you that option to decide whether or not you want to accept the person that I want to be, and whether or not you see the value in the things that I'm willing to do for you. And that's point blank period, you know? And again, some of these people, they don't have children, so they don't know about these other complexities that can introduce into your life. And that's okay. You get to speak from whatever your life experience is from. Again, this is why I choose to share mine. I just did that short the other day. You know, I believe in shared experiences. You know, it might have nothing to do with you. But if you can draw anything from it that's helpful, hey man, there you go. That's why I did it. That's why I chose to put this out into the world. It might help somebody at the end of the day, you know, and at least it might gain some level of understanding for the next person to broaden their horizons, you know. So I appreciate anybody trying to strive to succeed, you know, but again, wherever you're gonna be, that's where you are. And probably you can get what you're traveling for where you are, but you gotta be ready for it up here. The playing difficulty, what do they say? The game has changed, but the players are the same. Up the playing difficulty. Put that shit on expert mode. This is why I'm so glad that I grew up in the time that I did. Because the level of effort that I was having to give as a youth, man, the stuff that I'm able to do now is like next to effortless. It's really next to effortless. Again, you see my head's all shiny. I'm here at the gym. I'm doing this. You know, it's next to effortless. And the more that I do it, the better that I get. I've been through the divorce and several poor relationships. They weren't poor. They just, I was inexperienced on some things, you know. But I still appreciate all the people that I got to share that time in my life with. And one thing I will say about this is again, shout out to CGA. He helped me shed that bitterness, that hate, and that anger from those kind of relationships. Some of them were with parents, bro. Some of them were with family members, dog. And like you can't, it's poison. It's poison. Don't poison yourself on the count of somebody else. Stop doing that. What's done is done. You're still here. You're still kicking and thriving. Get moving. Go get better. Acknowledge that something might be broken and start healing, dude. I'm straight up. Like, I look at me. I cried like a baby. You know what I'm saying? No lie. No bullshit. I cried like a baby. I had to mourn the loss of my family. You know what I mean? But it's all good, because I'm still here. My littles are doing better than ever, at least as best as they can be. You know, I'm proud of them. Dude, hanging out with my babies is like the best thing. Like being able to provide a secure, stable environment for them, you got no idea. Even for myself too, that's the best thing is for myself. They just get to benefit from the extension of it. And I love that, you know? And I get to involve people in my life. I've had people, again, come back and apologize to me about things. And that means a lot, because I know what it took for certain people to do that. You know? And, you know, I could just write them off. That was one of the things about the human resources, circling about that too. Yeah, you might know some people are shady, but it's a tax write-off to you know what I'm saying? To not deal with that. Man, it's like the fragility is kind of weird, you know? But if you choose to and you really want to, you'll seek a path of resilience and resistance. And here's a kicker: you have the freedom to choose to build yourself into who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Remember, your boy's vibrant, exciting, and willing to assist. I've always been that. Even through my turmoils, always been vibrant, exciting, and willing to assist. And again, student of life, I'm on the learner's journey, and I'm continuing to do so, and I'm bettering myself 100% along the way. every day a little bit better, every day a little bit better, every day a little bit better. So thank you for joining the gym chat. Again, just wanted to get that off of the brain because I've been thinking about the kind of passport bro movement and whatever that is. But yeah, it just brought it to mind so much about Patrice. And like, again, rest in peace to him. Like, I'm glad that he was able to share what he was with the world before he ended up moving on. Because I think that level is invaluable. If you guys want to check it out, like, find anything about the Black Phillip show and like just listen to what his mindset is. Again, check in with Coach Greg Adams too, CGA. Don't take the negativity to heart. As a matter of fact, he teaches you not even to absorb the negativity. He wants you to shed that shit too. I want you to shed that shit too. There's no need for it. There's a lot better things that you can be doing than focusing on things that are outside of the scope of your control. And the things that you can focus on that are in the scope of your control might start to change the world around you and how it perceives you. And on that note, I bid you guys adieu.